So this could have been really bad. Watch this. So that was my buddy Gary, who came down from LA to ride with me at South Grade at Palomar Mountain. And after we went up once and down once of him following me just to kind of get a feel of the road, this was the first time going back up. And he's like, hey, I want you to follow me, give me some feedback. I don't really know the road too well yet, but it's gonna be more of like my raw skill and just, you know, pretty much see how I handle a pretty unfamiliar road. So I was like, okay, I'll follow you, go for it. And then that turn, he just went a little bit too quick. Maybe I think he thought it was a different turn, like a sweeper, and it wasn't going to be a 180. Just went into it, I think a little bit too hot. Maybe his vision wasn't exactly where it was supposed to be. But you see he went wide, and then he stayed with the brakes, which is really good, is what you want to do. Stay with the brakes, slow the damn thing down, get it under control, and get back into your lane. So I'm just glad there wasn't a bike or a car going the other direction, because that would have been a bad day, but it wasn't. And that was the only close call he had throughout the entire day. And the whole session that we went up the rest of the way of him not knowing the road, and this is the very first in the very beginning, right? So we spent 6 hours together. By the end of the day, he was like 30 seconds faster, did really well. But the main thing I was trying to teach him, I was like, look, you're on a powerful bike. It's more about point shoot. Drive the thing in there on the brakes. You'll see, I'm gonna show you the run. You'll see his brake light get off way early, and I'm still going into the corner on the brakes, slowing down, getting it slowed, point, turned, so I could get back on the throttle and go the other direction. And he's so used to riding like mainly like big, fast, sweeping turns, a lot of corner speed, a lot of lean angle. I'm like, well, I want you to take that tool, that is a tool to go faster, lean angle. I want you to put it to the side right now. I want you to more think about before the turn, braking for the turn, taking the turn, exiting the turn, setting up for the next turn. I want you to take lean angle and kind of forget about that right now. I want you to really think about the entry and the exit. And that's all really focused on. Forget about corner speed, forget about lean angle, drive the bike in better, slow it down, use lean angle as a method to get direction. And our only goal in life is to get off the edge of the tire and power out of the turn. So I'm gonna show you the video of us going up, and I'll kind of pause it every now and then so you could see and like my feedback. And he cleaned all this stuff up towards the end of the day, like I said, but you could just see hesitance, like not really knowing the road, on the throttle, and then off the throttle, on the throttle really aggressive, or off on the brakes aggressively, off the brakes too soon, not really trail braking too deep into the corner. So just a lot of little things. Like I said, unfamiliar road. I think it just went a little bit too hot is what you just saw. But let's check out the video of me following him going up and see how it goes. So real quick before we watch the video, so good on him. I mean, he came down from LA, he rides a whole lot. He's a good rider, and good for him to come on down and be willing to open and be willing to listen to different feedback and be willing to learn and try new things out, try a different road that he's not really used to, never been to before, and super technical. I didn't want him to come down here and just do big, fast sweeping turns because he's already used to that up in LA. So he has a really good attitude. Like, you know what? There's more to learn. There's always more to learn. I can always get better. Let's go see what I could go do down there on a different road. And the more the time went on and the more laps we'd up and down, lead, follow, recording. I even took him on the back with me, and after that he did better. Like, and he has a lot of videos on his channel. He made 3 videos just about his whole experience coming down with me. And the first one is 2 hours long. So we recorded everything and put that all in the video. And the other video about going 2 up with me and another one. So, but I wish more people would have his mentality of, you know what, there's always more to learn. I'll go down and ride with somebody else. Why not? Never been on the road before. And our whole messages back and forth on Instagram, there wasn't any, you know, hesitation or, you know, roadblocks in the road that we had to jump over for him. I just like, hey, I'm going to Palomar on this day. You want to come down? Are you free? It's going to be a nice warm day up there. The first thing he said is just right away, right after that, he messaged me. He's like, hey, where and when? What time do you want me to be there? What time? What's the address? Where we're going to go? And we just talked a little bit back and forth, but that was it. So good on him of having a really good attitude. I think he understood, because at the end of the day, this first run, he had the most amount of lean, and it was like 723 bottom to top. At the end of the day, we were doing like 650 bottom to top, so 30 seconds faster, and he had the least amount of lean. So he understood more than anything, there's a different way to approach these types of turns where you can have less max lean, less time spent leaned over on the edge of the tire, and you'll be faster. So you can be quicker and safer. So let's watch the video. All right, so let's check out the run. So he's on the brakes. So right there, he's already off the brakes. So that means, so think about brake pressure, right? So he's got on the brakes a lot, and then he was off the brake quickly. I probably had less max brake, but I carried the brakes longer. I'm still on the brakes right now and still decelerating all the way to about where he is. So the slowest point of the corner is like right around here, like where the shadow is. So I'm pretty much decelerating all the way to the slowest point of the corner because I understand the slowest point of the corner and I know how to trail brake very well. So if he doesn't really understand the slowest point of the corner or trail braking very well, you're always going to overslow entry and get off the brakes too soon. So that's going to be a common theme, but I just want to highlight right now because it's first thing right off the bat. And I'll just mention for the rest of the video, I'm like, off the brakes a little bit too early. And because you'll see my line catch up to him, like come up right behind him because I'm still on the brakes, I'm still slowing down. And you also notice like going to the corner, I try to make the corners as much as a V as I can, like the 180-degree turns. Because again, if I make the corner like this, I'm more upright going into it, so I can maximize the use of the brakes. I'll get the bike leaned in between my fingers for a short period of time, but my goal is to get off the edge of the tire and accelerate out. So you see like right here, he starts to pull away from me because he has one really good tool, which is corner speed, right? So he's using that corner speed. But I think he even has to lean a little bit more to stay on the road before we get out of this. But I don't care about corner speed. I let it get slow point of turn, but I want to get the full throttle coming out of the corner quickly. On the brakes. That time he carried the brakes a little bit deeper into it. I'm still slowing down going into it. That's how I'm able to catch up to him so easily on entry because I'm just braking way deeper into the turn. And if you don't know the road, a good place to be is just, like not all the way out over, not all the way over here, but if you don't know the road, just stay somewhere near the middle, maybe where the tracks of the vehicle are in front of you, so you still have options, right? But if anybody's going like this and kind of weaving throughout the turn, that's usually a vision issue. Either they're looking really far, looking back, they're looking everywhere. And if their eyes are going like this, usually the bike kind of follows your eyes, so you're kind of going to be wobbling and wiggling through the corner if your eyes are doing that. Because your eyes are connected to the throttle, so if you accelerate, the bike wants to go wide. If you go off the throttle, the bike wants to tighten up. So if your eyes are doing this, your bike is going to be going on and off everywhere because it's also connected to the throttle. It's all one big problem. You see what I'm saying? But it all starts with your eyes. So you can see for the last couple turns, I'm just trying to go as straight as I can, and he's kind of following the road. And it's just inefficient doing that. You don't have to follow in the middle of the road everywhere because you're not really using line selection at all. So I use line to my advantage. If I could go from the white line to the yellow line to the white line, well, I just made a straight line. What can you do in a straight line? You could accelerate harder or brake harder, whatever the circumstances allow you to do. But just following in the middle of the road and just doing all this swoopy stuff when you'd rather just go straight, it's just inefficient. This is the turn where he goes wide. And the thing really good about this, like right now he's like looking at his head and he's like, oh, I kind of messed that up. And he knew it, obviously. So two really big things right here. Number one, the rest of the way he slows the pace down. Because if he would have kept on going really fast as if he knows the road by heart like I do, I would have pulled in front of him and been like, hey, chill the pace out a little bit. I didn't have to do that because he already did it, because he's a mature rider. The second thing that's really important to highlight, a lot of people, sometimes people mess up a corner like that, you go wide, and then they crash on the next corner because they can't stop thinking about it, right? If you make a mistake, the time to think about it is over. The corner's done, right? Time to think about the next corner. Or if you don't want to do that, there's a big turnoff right here. Pull over, get off the road, take a 10-minute break if it's really messing with your mind that much. But sometimes people mess up a corner and 2-3 turns later they crash because they can't stop thinking about what the mistake was, why they did it, how they did it. So they didn't even, there's nothing wrong with that corner, but they crashed there, but the mistake was here. So good on him for slowing down the pace and then also dropping it out of his mind and just concentrating on just riding well and riding the best he can on the road he doesn't know. But he dropped the pace and didn't start doing crazy mistakes that he wasn't making so far. If he started making a whole bunch more mistakes, I would have pulled in front of him like, hey, that corner back there you went wide on, it looks like it's still messing with your mind. Let's chill out for 10 minutes. Maybe follow me up the rest of the road so you no longer have to think about the line. You could just follow me and just kind of have your mind worry about throttle and brakes. But I didn't have to do either of those things because he didn't start making a whole bunch of crazy mistakes. So he dropped it out of his mind and he slowed the pace down a little bit. So good on him. Like right here, you'll just see a good example. Yellow line, white line, yellow line, and then back over to the yellow. I'm just trying to be efficient and I know the road. And this is just the result of not knowing the road, of what he's doing. And like right here, I'm behind him and I could see that it's a slight left, right past the mailbox, and then it's gonna go, is a slight right, and then it's gonna be a left. So maybe he's not looking far enough ahead, or he was a little bit late on his eyes, but you're about to see his bike go like this and kind of make an abrupt movement to get over here. And anything you do abruptly, it's just too late. That's how you know it was late, because you had to do something abrupt to get you where you want the bike to be. See that? You had to make a big dip just to get over there. So right there, he was off the brakes almost at the same time he tipped in. And at the pace we're going, if you're going to be using the brakes, carry the brakes on past tipping, because you don't want to load the suspension, load the tire, and then get off the brakes and say screw it and just lean. Because now you're loading and unloading the tire at tip in, and that's a bad thing to do. So it wasn't extreme of him doing that, but not knowing how to trail brake, that's okay if you're riding at a super slow pace, because maybe you're only slowing down from 50 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour. But if you're going quicker and there's a big slowing down of the miles per hour, you're going to be loading that tire up. And the last thing you want to do before you tip it in is let go of the brakes, pop everything back up, more rake and trail, and then just try to lean it over. It's going to be very inefficient, ineffective. It's harder to lean, less weight on the front tire, all these problems. And you can see I'm going deep, so I'm trying to make a V shape, right? I'm trying to make more of a V shape, slow it down, slow, point, turn, and then go. You'll see him pulling away because he has more corner speed than me. He's probably going through this turn, let's say 45 miles per hour, and I'm slowing down to like probably under 40, because I don't care about cornering fast. I care about get the corner over with fast, so I could accelerate hard coming out. But because he had so much corner speed, he has to stay on the edge of the tire so much longer. You see what I'm saying? He has a lot of lean for a long period of time. I'm already starting to stand the bike back up, so I spend less time leaned over, which is safer. Here's another good example of, he's on the brakes right here. Watch when he gets off the brakes, and watch how I just come right back up behind him, because I'm just using the brakes more effectively going into the turn. Slow, point, turn, off the other tire, accelerate. Again, a lot of corner speed, that means more lean angle than me. That means he's spending more time on the edge of the tire. So he's cornering fast, and my goal in life is to get the damn thing slowed down, turned off the edge of the tire so I can accelerate. Off the brakes early. I was still on the brakes probably another 20 feet. And he's on an RR that's tuned and exhaust and everything, so he probably has easily 50 horsepower on me. So how is it that I'm able to keep up with them, come out of the corner? Well, I'm just on the throttle earlier because I'm off the edge of the tire earlier. That's all it is. So it's not necessarily braking, but just think about the deceleration zone going into the turn. You want to keep on slowing down, which may include the brakes, until you're comfortable with your speed and direction that bike is pointing. So on every corner entry, you just keep on slowing down, whether that's the brakes or rolling off the throttle or rolling off the throttle onto the brakes and downshifting. No matter what you do, you keep on damn slowing down until you're comfortable with your speed and direction. That's rule number one for any turn. The whole thing, the video I made about back-to-back turns, mastering how to linking turns together, you want to make the exit of one turn set you up perfectly for the entry of the next. And if it doesn't do that, you're just riding inefficiently. Right there, he just pointed out there's grass or, there's dirt in the middle of the road, like on the double yellow. So that's all he was doing by pointing. So the video I made about throttle coming out of the corner, if you're not on the throttle and it's not pushing you all the way to the outside, either you're too late with your eyes, too late with the throttle, or you could accelerate it harder. So just for a quick example, let me roll back. So look at this left-hand turn, we're coming out of it. And I'm already, once I know I'm going to get to the slowest point where I want the bike to be, like right around here, I'm already looking at the exit where I want to be, and the throttle takes me away from the slowest point. The brakes get me down to where I want the bike to go, slowing down where I want the bike to go, and the throttle takes me away from that point. And you could tell if he's just looking down late with his eyes or not using the throttle properly, you kind of end up in the middle of the road where you could end up on the outside. And because this is a left-handed turn and we have another left-hand turn, I'm already on the outside setting up directly for the next left. See what I'm saying? Now he has to come back in front of me just to get to where I already was because I set it up on the previous turn. Another good example, if he has more corner speed, so he's pulling away mid-turn, but what do I want to do? Do I care about corner speed? Do I want to be on the edge of the tire forever? No, I want to slow the thing down, get it turned to get off the edge of the tire to power out. Watch. So right there, he's off the brakes, I think right about at tip-in. Let's watch it again. So he's off the brakes right there, like almost at the same time as tip-in. So he had to slow down a lot, not really understanding or knowing the slowest point of the turn is not till like right about there. So him slowing down or him getting off the brakes too early, it's just a thing of not really understanding. Like you could keep on slowing down even on the brakes, like what I'm doing, all the way to the slowest point, get the thing pointed where you want to go, off to the edge of the tire, power out of there. Same thing with throttle on exit, right? Let the throttle take you out. Now he has to steer to get to the outside, and I already am to the outside. I use the throttle to get myself there. Again, braking going into the thing, slowing it down all the way to the slowest point. The slowest point of the turn is where you'll have max lean angle. It's where the end of the direction change needs to happen in order to set yourself up to get off the edge of the tire and accelerate. So let's watch this turn again. Slow point turn, get back on the throttle. See what I'm saying? So if you ever ride an unfamiliar road, you can really tell what the rider is looking at or not looking at, or if they're late with their eyes or not really sure where to look, because they're gonna be very hesitant of when to tip in, and their line will look kind of erratic because your eyes are connected to your line, which are connected to the throttle, but everything starts with your eyes. So his last 3 turns was a really good example of just doing what the road tells you to do and just be very swoopy. And I'm just trying to go as straight as I possibly can. More efficient, less time spent on the edge of the tire. I could brake harder or accelerate harder if I wanted to. And again, everyone, so that was the first run of him just going up by himself without following me. So we get to the top, we talk about a whole bunch of things, give us some tips. He follows me, I record him, we go back and forth, I take him on the back, we do more back and forth. Again, we spent 6 hours on the mountain. That was just the very first one. By the end of it, it was way cleaner, way sharper with the turns. Not so worried about corner speed, more about the brakes and powering out because he has a powerful bike. And go watch the video, that 2-hour video that he made on his end, recording the whole entire day. From him coming down from LA, riding with me, everything I'm saying to him in between the riding and the filming. And every time we stop at the top, talk to him for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. And then we go back down and we do more things. So, but that's just the very first run, him going by himself in the beginning of the day. So pretty good for someone that's never been to a road, bottom to top 723, first try. That's pretty awesome. But look, so feedback, different way to think about it. Forget about corner speed, worry more about the brakes and the exit. Within 6 hours of being there, he improved by 30 seconds. So the last run we did up, it was probably like a 6:50 run, and that's quick. That's a quick run going bottom to top of South Grade at Palomar. So good on him. Again, just to emphasize, go watch his videos, and good for him of made the mistake, no big deal for whatever reasons, visions, in too hot, whatever else. He forgot about it immediately, which is what you want to do. Think about the next turn, and he didn't start making a whole bunch of crazy mistakes worrying about that last turn. You just got to forget about it and move on. And he dropped the pace a little bit to make sure that doesn't happen again. So overall, really good day. And I'm going to go up there to LA and ride with him. And he wants to come back down and ride Palomar some more down here with me. So whenever we get together and ride again, I'm sure there'll be a lot more videos. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Go check out his stuff and let him know what you think on his videos.